What's up with it, y'all? I got a good one today. So I was just thinking, I just got through fixing something on my car, and honestly, I got that whole mindset from my dad. I actually had my dad in my life growing up. It was points, after my mom and dad divorced, we were going a little while without seeing him, sometimes months without seeing him, because he was extremely poor after the divorce. Couldn't keep the lights on. We were taking baths and boiling our bath water to get warm water, using flashlights for lights, counters, stuff like that when we went over there, me and my little sister. So we definitely understood the struggle some, but all in all, I didn't really have a bad life. I will say I was broke most of my life. My mom had money. My mom's a doctor, but my mom also was a single mother for years. So, that money quickly diminishes when you got 3 kids to take care of by yourself. And then she ended up getting married to my stepdad. And, they blew a shitload of money because he had 2 kids of his own. So she was the primary breadwinner still when she got married to my stepdad. And so basically she was fronting for 7 people in the house. So, 6 figures do not go a long way at that point. But, they were flashy, Escalades, Cadillacs, stuff like that. And they ended up blowing all the money and fucked the money up. So, and my dad was just getting afloat, but he still wasn't where he is now. But he's good now. My mom and stepdad are good now. Fast forward. So I learned a lot of lessons about having money and not having money coming up. So I would say I'm torn exactly in between the two. My first time moving out of my dad's house, I moved in with my dad when I was in JUCO, junior college and community college. And my first time moving out and getting an apartment with a roommate, I was in the hood. One of the worst streets in Jackson, Mississippi. It's really nothing that I haven't experienced, I'd say, as far as like living conditions and being in bad areas or being in richer areas. I feel like I've experienced it all. And now I'm back living good again. I won't say I'm in a rich area. I'm in an okay area. And I'm trying to get back to, I really never say I lived in a rich area, but I live in some pretty well-off areas, I will say that. And I'm trying to basically get in the area like how my mom is or my dad is. They're in pretty good areas, And they eventually, when I start my family, I want to be in that area. But today, guys, I wanted to talk about the Never Back Down movie. I think it's a lot of things that we could talk about as far as being a man when it comes to that movie. Not even just dealing with fighting, but that's definitely one of the points. So I'm going to just lay that out now. I feel like every man should know how to handle himself. Yes, there's levels to it. John Jones, the UFC fighter, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, guys like that, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, Floyd Mayweather even. Guys like that, man, that's a whole nother level. Like, that's professional. I'm not saying you got to be like that. I'm just saying that if somebody breaks in your house and you can't get to your gun fast enough, or somebody challenges you out when you out with your kids or your daughter or your son, you need to be able to step up and not weasel out, guys. Like, because okay, I might lose this fight. I might lose. I'm an average height guy. I'm like 5'9", 5'10", like 160, 165 at best. Right now, I'm trying to get up to where I'm like 175 or so. But I'm an average guy. Like, I'm a middleweight. I'm not a heavyweight. I'm not 6 feet tall even. I'm not too far, but I'm not short. I'm not tall. I'm not buff. I'm not small. I'm just an average size guy. I got some muscles and shit, but I'm an average guy. So, but my thing is, I've had to step up to guys that was 6'3", 6'4". I know it every bit of 250 for my girl. Guys be trying to holler at my girl. I'm out and I'll be like, hey, what's going on? I know they wouldn't know. But it's just the fact of, you know, I would go up to him. I'm not finna like stand in the corner and wait on him to leave. No, I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, it's not even about proving to my girl anything. It's about my respect. Like, okay, this is my old lady, so I gotta come up and let him know, like, hey, I'm with her. It's not a jealousy thing. It's just like, oh, he didn't know. So when he stood up, I had to make some quick calculations in my head because he was a lot bigger than I thought he was. But I already knew in my head. I said, okay, if this, and he was drinking, he was drunk. So I was like, if this shit goes left, I'm about to hit this motherfucker as hard as I can, because I've always been told in the streets, make that first motherfucking lick count. I'm not finna wrestle his big ass. I'm finna stick and move. And however it turned out, it's just however it turned out. Now, he was a big Q dog and shit. And I think I might have told this story before. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to be able to do that. But on the never back down situation, the guy who was the bully, I don't even remember his name, man. But the guy that was the bully, he grew up in a rich household. You know, his dad was like some famous UFC fighter, I guess, or some MMA fighter, and he could fight real good. And obviously he taught his son how to fight extremely well. His son was shredded. You know, he didn't struggle or nothing. A lot of people don't really know how to handle themselves unless they from the hood or from the country. I'm from the country. Let's just be real. A lot of people who come from rich families and shit like that, they're weak. A lot of them are weak. They're just taught the business side of everything and how to get money, but they're not taught how to like do shit like change tires. I'm not saying everybody, guys. I'm just saying like when you, the vast majority, if you look at men who come from real rich families, they'll either be really arrogant and not know shit, or they'll be like real timid and not know shit. When you struggle, it builds character. When you struggle, it builds up a lot of aggression. That's where all my aggression came from, is struggling. Straight up. Seeing a lot of shit, you know, you start just being more immune to the bullshit in life. Seeing people fight doesn't startle you. Hearing gunshots don't really startle you unless it's like right by you. You know, shit like that. When you around that shit, it really doesn't bother you. But when you in peaceful neighborhoods and you driving in Ferraris or driving in Range Rovers and Mercedes Benz and BMWs and Cadillacs and shit all your life, and you real sheltered, and you going to private schools, you don't even know how to interact with regular people of all walks of life and stuff like that, then you are more timid. And see, this is the main point that I'm driving home with the Never Back Down movie situation, is that guy was not timid. His dad raised him to be a man. He taught him how to fight. He taught him how to handle himself, which built his confidence. I know that guy knew how to change tires. I know he knew how to fix on shit because his dad was a man's man. And with 9.5 times out of 10, his dad struggled to get him to where he was. Because let's be real, most people who are professional fighters have shitty backgrounds. They're doing, like, who the fuck wants to really fight and take blows and broken bones and shit to make a living? You know, people do that as a means to an end. Like, a lot of people do that because they have to. I mean, you get some situations where people do it, like Muhammad Ali. He had a regular life, but he did it because I think he got bullied or something like that, or somebody took his bike and he wanted to learn how to handle himself, and then he fell in love with it. But at the end of the day, all of it comes from some type of struggle. Most of the time, fighting. And guys, just to drive it home, if I have a son, that's just what I want it to be. Like, I don't want my son to have to struggle at all like I did. I don't want him to deal with broken homes or none of that. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to make sure that he knows how to handle himself. I'm going to make sure that he has the confidence. And confidence comes from experience, you know. That's where it comes from. Confidence comes from doing things that make you confident. I'm gonna make sure he's good with the ladies. You know, he knows how to handle himself, and he knows how to do the basics of a man. Change a tire, jack a car up, change a light bulb, like just simple shit, man. And every man should know how to use a hammer, know how to use a drill. Like all this shit goes a long way, because these days it's a lot of men who don't know what the fuck they're doing. A lot of grown boys out here. I'm not saying I know how to do everything, but I'm damn sure gonna try to figure it out. As a man, by the time you like 21, you should know how to do all the basics. By the time you 30, you should be to the point you at the point to where you don't have to ask nobody else for shit. You like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I can figure it out. Like I had to just drill a little hole in the side of my car on the front bumper because the damn bumper came off track. Cause in Illinois, I'm in Mississippi right now, but in Illinois, up there in my Airbnb, it's like rocks on the ground, and I fucking drove over the rocks one night because it's a dip on the side that I didn't see, and it like pushed my bumper off track, and it's like it kind of hangs off the side a little bit, and I was like, fuck that. So I ended up just getting my dad's drill, drilling a little hole on the side, got some zip ties, you know, because it's just plastic, and wrapped it around and you know, made it work. I drilled a little hole and a little thing in front of the tire, and then I drilled a little hole on the side, on the little side outside plastic of the bumper, and I just got 2 zip ties, zipped it together, and now it's not hanging off anymore. But and it's so simple, man. A lot of this shit is simple. You know, wiring your light bulbs, wiring your lights back together on your headlights and shit like that. Just pop the hood and you can do it. Or putting a new light in the back, rear lights. You know, pop your trunk. It's a little button on the side. You pop that out, pull the thing back, and then boom, your light's right there. All you gotta do is go to AutoZone or Advanced Auto or O'Reilly or something. Get a little light bulb that fits your car. Boom, pop it in, you good to go. And you don't have to worry about getting a damn ticket. So it's little shit like that, man, that goes a long way, especially if you're dealing with a woman. You know, like they want to know that, oh, I got a man who's willing to fight, who's not a bitch. I got a man who, or if my tire goes flat, he knows how to fix it. I got a man who can do X, Y, and Z. You know, he knows how to wash a car. He knows how to change a tire. He knows how to, you know, I had to change the damn lock on the door at my girl's old apartment. You know, so, and it's from experience. You know, I've done shit like that around the house with my dad. So any little project that my dad ever had, whether it was sawing trees, branches out trees, you know, moving tree stumps across the road so they wouldn't be in the yard, fixing shit on cars, like he always had me there with him. He would literally call me, even when I was staying with my mom, be like, hey, come on over, I got a project. We'll get on the roof, be nailing shingles back on, but all that little shit, and I didn't understand then, it was annoying, but as time went on, I was like, damn, now that I'm 30 years old, I'll be 31 later on this year, I'm like, I understand now, you know, and I make sure that when I have a son, or, you know, if I have a son, or even a nephew or anything like that, I'm gonna make sure that they know how to do all this shit. You don't have to be the best handyman. You don't have to be the best fighter. I'm just saying, guys, like in reference to Never Back Down, that guy knew what the fuck he was doing at a young age because his dad instilled that shit in him. When I was a young boy in school, I wasn't scared to fight. I fought a couple of times. I wasn't scared to handle myself or nothing like that. I wasn't getting bullied. So that's what I'm saying, like, because of what my dad instilled. He always told me, if somebody hit you, you hit them back. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You get suspended one time? Like, come on, man. So you gotta handle yourself. I don't advocate fighting. I don't advocate shooting nobody or nothing like that. But you should definitely know how to handle yourself as a man. And you should definitely know, and I feel like we need more men like the father of the guy in Never Back Down. The bad guy or whatever. Because he really put him on game to where he wasn't no lame.